Hey everyone, welcome back. This is a true story from 2020, working late in an empty office in Seattle when I heard footsteps after everyone left. What started as a quiet night turned into pure terror. This'll make you dread staying late. In late 2020, I was 24, working as a graphic designer for a small tech startup in Seattle. Our office was on the 10th floor of an old downtown building, all glass and steel but with creaky elevators and flickering lights. I often stayed late, finishing designs after the team left at 6 p.m. The office was my sanctuary. Quiet, no distractions, just me and my music. One rainy October night, I was alone, headphones on, when I heard footsteps, heavy, deliberate, coming from the hallway. I froze, thinking a coworker forgot something, but the security log showed everyone had swiped out. I called out, "Hello?" No answer, just silence. The footsteps stopped, then started again, closer, pacing outside the design room's glass door. I peeked through the blinds, but the hallway was dark, only the emergency exit light glowing red. My heart raced. I told myself it was the janitor, but they cleaned mornings. I locked the door, turned off my music, and listened, the rain outside masking softer sounds. The footsteps circled, then faded, but I felt watched, like something was just beyond the glass. The footsteps returned around 11 p.m., now inside the office, near the cubicles. I grabbed my phone to call security, but the signal was dead. No bars, despite always working before. I crept to the glass door, peering out. The exit light flickered, casting shadows that looked like a figure standing still. I whispered, "Who's there?" And the footsteps stopped, replaced by a low hum like someone breathing. I backed away, heart pounding, and checked the security camera feed on my laptop. Nothing but static. Then a whisper, my name, Lila, faint but clear, coming from the ceiling vent. I froze, eyes darting up. The vent was sealed. No way sound could come through. I grabbed a stapler as a makeshift weapon, adrenaline surging. The footsteps resumed, slow and heavy, moving toward the break room. I considered running for the elevator, but the power flickered, plunging the office into darkness except for my desk lamp. The whisper repeated, now from the glass door like someone pressed against it. I didn't dare look, focusing on my laptop, praying for dawn. The footsteps circled again, stopping right outside. I stayed frozen until the lights returned, dimmer now. The footsteps moved away, but a new sound started, scratching like nails on glass from the break room. I forced myself to check, creeping through the cubicles, lamp in hand. The break room was empty, but the fridge hummed louder, vibrating. On the counter, a coffee mug I'd used earlier was upside down, filled with dark liquid that wasn't there before. I backed out, heart in my throat, when the whispers turned to laughter. Soft, mocking, echoing from all directions. I ran back to the design room, locking the door, and checked the security log again. Still no entries after 6 p.m. I emailed my boss, describing the sounds, but it bounced back, server down. Online, I found stories about the building. A janitor died in a fall in the 90s, and night workers reported footsteps ever since. The laughter grew louder, now from the walls, saying, "Lila, stay." I turned on my phone flashlight, scanning the room. A shadow moved across the ceiling. Too tall for a person, too deliberate. I barricaded the design room door with a chair, hands shaking. The footsteps returned, now multiple sets, pacing in sync around the office. I called 911, but the line crackled with static. A voice whispering, "No one's coming." I hung up, tears welling, and checked the camera feed again. Static cleared, showing a figure in the hallway, featureless except for glowing eyes staring directly at the lens. It moved closer, then vanished. The whispers named personal things. My childhood dog, a scar from a bike crash, details no one knew. I texted a coworker begging her to come, but no reply. The footsteps stopped outside the door. The glass rattled as if pressed by unseen hands. I grabbed a cross necklace from my bag, a gift from my mom, and held it tight, praying. The laughter softened, but a new sound began, tapping like fingers on the vent above. I looked up. The vent cover was loose, swaying slightly. Something dropped, a piece of paper with my name scrawled in red. I screamed, the chair barricade shifting as the door groaned. The tapping grew frantic, the vent cover falling with a clang, revealing a dark void. I grabbed my bag, ready to bolt, but the door wouldn't budge, the chair now stuck. The footsteps resumed, circling faster, joined by a low growl from the vent. I shone my flashlight up. Eyes glinted back, unblinking, set in a face that wasn't human. Pale eyeless sockets, mouth stretched in a grin. It whispered, "Stay with us, Lila." I threw the stapler at the vent, hitting nothing, but the growl stopped. The power cut completely, leaving only my flashlight. I checked the window. 10 floors up, no escape. Online forums mentioned the janitor's death wasn't an accident. Co-workers heard him scream about eyes in the walls before he fell. The figure appeared in the glass door's reflection. Closer now, its grin wider. I prayed louder, clutching the cross, and the room shook, papers flying. A co-worker's voice called from the hallway, "Sarah, my friend." But when I shouted back, the footsteps drowned her out, mocking her voice with laughter. The shaking stopped, but the figure was inside now, standing in the corner, eyes glowing, grin splitting its face. It didn't move, just watched, whispering my fears, failing at work, losing my family. I backed against the wall, cross raised, screaming for it to leave. The air grew heavy like breathing smoke, and the footsteps multiplied, echoing from every corner. I heard Sarah's voice again, now distorted, coming from the figure's mouth. "Lila, join us," it said, stepping closer, hands claw-like. I threw my flashlight. It passed through, shattering against the wall, plunging us into darkness except for those eyes. I fumbled for my phone, using its light, and saw handprints appearing on the glass door, steaming. The cross burned in my hand, and I shouted prayers my mom taught me. The figure recoiled, hissing, but the footsteps didn't stop, now stomping above, below, everywhere. I kicked the chair away, the door finally opening, and ran for the elevator, pressing the button frantically. The figure's laugh followed, echoing in the shaft. The elevator doors opened, but the car was dark, the figure's eyes glowing inside. I sprinted for the stairs, 10 floors down, footsteps chasing me, walls shaking. I burst into the lobby, security guard asleep, and ran into the rainy street, collapsing as a car honked. A passerby helped me call the police. They searched the building, finding nothing, no figure, no handprints, just my scattered belongings. The camera footage was blank, corrupted. They dismissed it as stress, but I knew better. I quit the job, moved to a new city, but the footsteps followed in dreams, always at 3 a.m, with that grin watching. Online, I found others who worked nights in that building. Similar stories of footsteps, eyes, a janitor's spirit angry at being forgotten. I visited a priest. He blessed me, gave me a new cross, but said some entities latch on. The office was renovated, but new workers report sounds. I keep lights on, avoid empty buildings, fearing the footsteps will return. In my new apartment, I hear faint footsteps some nights, always 3 steps, then silence. Mirrors show fleeting glimpses of that grin, gone when I blink. I joined a paranormal support group. Others described entities tied to old buildings, feeding on lone workers' fear. One man said he saw the janitor's face in the elevator, eyes glowing, before quitting. I researched the building's history. The janitor, Frank, died after reporting harassment, claiming something lived in the walls. His death was ruled accidental, but coworkers believed he was pushed. I keep salt lines by my door, a cross on my nightstand, but the whispers linger, saying, "Lila, you left us." I avoid working late, check security logs obsessively. The building's still in use, but posts online warn night staff to leave by midnight. I feel it watching, waiting for me to be alone again, to hear those footsteps closing in. Subscribe now. The channel That's My Story, true and terrifying. Never stay late alone. Some footsteps aren't human.